And we're live. Let's take the brightness up a little. Brighter. I don't know if that's bright enough. Is that bright enough? I'm sure somebody will tell me if it's bright enough as soon as anybody's here. 4 people watching. Hello. 6 people watching. Hello. Say hello. I'm looking at the chat. Nobody's saying hello. 8 people watching. Who's going to be the first? Marilyn. Hello. Paul R. The light is fine this evening. Jolly good. Thank you, Paul. Wait till a few more people say hello. Hey up, Sprays. How are you? Black coffee. Oh, Marilyn. I got your email. Sorry, I read your email there yesterday it was. And I know you said you were looking at a place. You'll have to send me photos. Megs, hello. How are you? Yes, we're all doing very well. Yes, the storm was a little bit exciting, I must admit. It's gone all calm out there now, thankfully. I think that's the end of it. Young Kyle in Austria. Kyle, you should be out skiing. Or doing a bit of après ski anyway. Sprays, yeah. Well, you might have seen on the video that I put, there was a little bit of flooding on the main road on the front there. So I think it actually got worse by all accounts after I left. I only went down and took the camera down with me because I was going to do a bit of shopping, and so I thought I'd get some footage while I was down there. And yeah, by all accounts, it got worse after I left. So yeah. Barry. No, ours isn't an old place, Barry. Our flats were only built 5-6 years ago. So, Megs, you've had storms and a lot of rain and floods. Yeah, wasn't there an album called? In fact, wasn't there a song called "Fire and Rain" by? Oh, he's on tip of my tongue now. Look, tip of my tongue. Goodness gracious. I will get his name. I'll have to Google it. Fire and I do like his music as well. James Taylor. There you go. James Taylor, Fire and Rain. Yes, young Carl, it was a bit on the windy side and a bit on the sea was very 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 high. It wasn't too cold at all, actually, Megs. It was quite pleasant temperature wise. The wind made it feel a little bit cooler, but overall it was quite mild, quite a mild temperature. Marilyn left 78 degrees Fahrenheit to come back to 32 degrees Fahrenheit and snow. We always get confused with Fahrenheit because we do centigrade here in the UK. So what's 32 Fahrenheit to centigrade? There we go. 32 after. Oh dearie me! I've got pictures of ladies in bras. I shouldn't have googled that, should I? Dearie me! Oh goodness. 32 degrees from Fahrenheit to Celsius is 0. I should know that, shouldn't I? I should know that it's 0 Celsius. Yeah, obviously. So yeah. Yeah, Megs, Marilyn, yeah, James Taylor, you're absolutely right. I do love James Taylor. I think he's got a amazing voice. He really does. And he sings some beautiful songs. Bottle dinghy car. Once I saw a woman wading into the water at the pool car park. Once she was up to her knees. There was a couple there today doing that, Carl. There's a couple of, I will call them idiots, driving through it just for fun and giggles. I'll use fun and giggles rather than the usual saying. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely right, Sprays. Insurance companies will be busy tomorrow. I'm sure they're ready for it, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, the houses across the road, Marilyn, a lot of them are used to it now, and they've usually got sandbags on standby. So they put sandbags across the doorways and the gates and things like that. So so they're pretty well prepared now. So Sonia's in the house. Hello, Sonia. Pascat, hello. How are you? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, indeed. It seems an odd one that people still park in that car park when there's a storm due, and yeah, you're absolutely right, Megs. The seawater does, especially on coasts, eats away at cars and turns them to rust in no time, without people parking in it and driving around in it for fun. I've never understood that myself, but there you go. Finding Treasure, AD, Anthony, how are you, sir? Welcome along. Sprays, did you see the Jersey Hoard Museum authentication? Biggest coin hoard found on British Isles ever, found 2012. I haven't seen it yet, no, I must admit. I've been watching other things this week, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I always feel sorry for the people whose cars get ruined. Yeah, if it's through no fault of your own, obviously there are people that park there, and some people have said, obviously people have parked there and maybe gone away for a few days without realizing and left the cars in that area. So, but yeah, the people that do it for fun, then they deserve what they get, really. Zarps in South Africa, welcome along. Zarps. I won't do a South African impression because it would be terrible. Paul, we're having spring tides at the minute too, coupled with wind making big seas. Yeah, big storm surge today. I don't know if you saw the video that I put up earlier. And yeah, the sea was coming up way up over the pier. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so in other things, let me get rid of these ladies in bras on my screen here. Yeah, I got out a couple of times this week, I must admit. I got out more than a couple of times, actually. I did go out. I'll come to that in a minute, Sprays. I did go out. I was due to go out with Simon, the big man. He was supposed to come up to Helensburgh. We were going to do a bit of a beach detect, but it turned out he had to go shopping. His missus wouldn't let him out to play. So anyway, I hit the beach just for a quick hunt, and I got the tide times completely wrong. I was a right idiot. Don't know where I got my idea of what the time was, but yeah, I was a complete idiot, and yeah, so it made for well, it didn't even make a video, to be perfectly honest with you. I found a couple of modern, couple of bits of modern coinage, a 10p and a 5p and a 2p and a 1p, I think. And so yeah, so that was a bit of a failure. Then I went out the following day when I got the correct tide time, and thought I'd have another hunt, and it was just absolutely terrible. There was nothing to find, really. Again, I found a couple of bits of modern coinage and a couple of bits of scrap, and that was it. And so I failed on the video front again on the beach detecting. I think I'm going to maybe go a little bit further afield and try another couple of beaches that I know that I've not been to for a while. So, but then I did get a day up on the farm again, and on the same day I had about another hour or so spare, so I took myself down to the beach and I did a bit of a beach comb as well, because I know some of you people love the beach combing video, so I had a bit of a beach combing session as well. I've edited the farm video today, and I've yet to edit the beach combing video. So So I think probably next week you'll maybe see the farm video, and then we'll do the beachcombing one after that. So so yeah, just to let you know what I've been up to this week. And so where was I? We had a question, we had a thing here. So boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Spray says, when you go hiking and camping, Rob, do you have you ever thought of foraging? I have actually, yeah. I've really fancied doing foraging for mushrooms, but I'm not going to take the chance of poisoning myself because I know nothing about mushrooms. I am told that there are some quite nice wild mushrooms available at certain times of the year up on the hillside in the forests here. But I would hate to take a chance and poison myself, and I just wouldn't take that chance, really, to be perfectly honest with you. So other than that, when I am out metal detecting along the beach or up in the fields, if I find blackberries or anything like that, then yeah, I do. I have a few along the way. But perfectly honest with you, when I'm out camping, which I'll be doing a bit more of this year, there isn't a great deal of wild foods. There just really isn't. It's quite they're quite bland, plain hillsides, and yeah, you might, like I say, you might see the odd blackberries and raspberries, that kind of thing. But other than that, you would need quite the experience, I think, really, to find food up there. And something I would like to do, like I say, don't get me wrong, I'd like to have a crack at it. And the foraging for the wild mushrooms would be probably the number one. If I can find somebody local this year, I'll put word out when it's mushroom season. I'll ask if anybody local is knowledgeable in that realm, and we'll see if we can go out for a day and maybe knock up a little mushroom omelette or something while we're out there. So yeah, you never know. Harry Enfield did the best South African accent, I reckon. Is that the guy when he plays the guy in the gym? Yes, he's very funny. Harry Enfield's very funny anyway, but when he does the South African, it's very, very funny. Yes, I went into a little bit of it there, and it probably sounds absolutely horrendous. And I'm sure, Zarps, I'm sure you've heard thousands and thousands of people doing South African accents. And I've heard people doing Yorkshire accents and failing miserably at it as well. So, and likewise, I'm sure lots of Scots people have heard other people doing Scottish accents and yeah, so on and so forth. And yeah, we all probably sound really terrible doing all the different accents. Oh dear. Bob Marley, Irie, Bob's in the house. The Ferrets Variety Channel. What webcam are you using to stream on, mate? I will tell you, it is a Logitech, and I'll get you the model number here. Logitech, I think it's a C920. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's a Logitech C920. It's a full HD 1080p, but I've also got a ring light as well, which for illumination. So so you'll see without this, I used to stream without the ring light. And the quality wasn't great. It struggled to focus under the lighting that I had. But yeah, I can, as you can see, I can up and down the brightness of this ring light. It's a great little thing, I must admit. Oh. I can also change the color as well. There's a couple of color options on there. So so yeah, so it just gives me a couple of options really, and I kind of like that yellowish light, and I like it a little bit lower than that. Yeah, maybe around there. So yeah, so a Logitech C990 HD Pro, they call it. Logitech C990 HD Pro. My daughter bought it for me for Christmas for streaming. So because I was using my old vlogging camera, which was a little copy of a GoPro. But I use that in the car now. I use that as my dash cam now that I've got, my daughter bought me a GoPro the Christmas before. So So yeah, all change. What else have we got here? Sorry, I'm a little bit behind, guys, because I'm talking away here. So I'm just going to go back where evening. Bob Marley says it's storms and flooding like crazy in Yorkshire. Yeah, I've seen 1 or 2 pictures of Yorkshire as well. It doesn't look good, does it? Bottle digging with Kyle. I found a dead dog on Cardross Beach recently. Such a shame. It was so sad. Yeah, it is desperately sad. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Deary me. Oh, I hope I didn't deafen everybody then. Goodness gracious. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me. Wolf Spirit, hello, sir. How are you? Hope you're doing well. And I hope your brother's well as well. And Tony, I hope your missus is well. Actually, I keep meaning to say. So yeah, I hope everybody's getting on well over there. I'll be down in Leeds in I think it's May. Oh no, maybe it's April. April, I think it is. We're going down, or we're intending to go down anyway. I'd love to be able to get a day out with you two fellas, but I think family and what have you is. I'll have a word with the wife and see if I can't get out for an afternoon, maybe, and meet you two. But yeah, I'll see what I can do anyway. Bob Marley went to look around Hebden Bridge, nearly got stuck there. I'm not surprised, huh? Lovely place, Hebden Bridge, I must admit. Sprays that wild garlic on your site. I made pesto with that stuff. Yeah, I tell you what, there's tons of it. There's tons of it on the dump that I'm intending to dig just next to the farmhouse. But down in the burn, in the big stream there, it's apps. I mean, it's just everywhere. It's crazy, that stuff. I don't know how you use it. I must look it up. I must admit, because there is tons and tons and tons of it, and I'm sure I could probably make a few quid packaging it up and selling it locally. Spray says in France, if you pick wild mushrooms, you can get them checked for free in chemists. that's good. Oh dear. So where are we? Sorry, I'm still catching up. Are you looking forward to Philip Haley? Hello, Philip. How are you? Are you looking forward to hunting after this storm? I am. Yeah, I am actually. Although the low tide's very, very early in the morning here at the moment, so over the next few days. So I don't do great with getting up early. Although I might have to make the effort. Hey, yeah. So yeah, I am looking forward to it, actually. Like I say, I'm going to go a little bit further afield and try a couple of other beaches that I've been to before, but I've not been into for a while. So yeah, stay tuned. You never know. Southern Searcher, hello, how are you? I'm out beach detecting tomorrow. Hopefully the weather isn't too bad. Yes, indeed. Hopefully it's not too bad. Thank you, Megs. Big sneeze, I know. Thank you, Southern Searcher. Thank you, everybody, for saying bless you. Ferret's right channel. Did you manage to stream live with your GoPro? I just bought the Hero 7 Black, but having problems trying to stream live with it. I would never try and live stream up here in Scotland. The strength of Wi-Fi can vary greatly, and it's just not worth it, to be perfectly honest with you. So, do you know, Megs? I think I'm getting a cold. My daughter's had a lung infection, which I think started from a cold, and she's currently taking antibiotics for it. Pam's complaining that she's got a sore throat now, and I've got a little bit of a sore throat at the top here when I swallow, bit glandular. If you know what I mean, so a bit up here. But But yeah, I think maybe I'm catching a bit of a cold. I'll have to get some exercise in and see if we can burn it off. Keithy from Alaska, welcome along, Keithy. Hope I haven't been to China recently. That's terrible. That is terrible. No, I haven't been to China recently. Barbie Girl Thrifter, hello. Barbie Girl Thrifter, are you one of those people that shops in at thrift stores or charity shops, as we call them here in the UK? I would assume from your name that's what you do. I do like a search around a charity shop myself, actually. Wolf Spirit, yeah, but I'm fine. Brother is doing okay. Robin, I have a question. I have a few old glass whiskey flasks that I would like to reuse, but just wondering how to sterilize them properly to drink out of. Ooh, do you know what? That's a really good question. Do you know what my best answer to that is? If you wash the bottles out, make sure they're thoroughly washed out, so there's nothing left inside. Then for sterilization, simply use Milton sterilizing fluid, which is used for baby bottles, sterilizing baby bottles. So you get yourself a deep container, you fill it with water, you put in the required amount of Milton fluid, and then you submerge your bottles into the sterilizing mixture, and you leave it sat there for however long it says. I can't remember how long it says, but yeah, that's probably your best option for sterilizing. Simple as that. Sprays, when the waters go down, I bet the rivers will be full of stuff, all washed out bottles, etc. Yeah, indeed. I know I was watching the man with the hat there yesterday. He was on one of the rivers that's local to him, and I know it's one that there's another fella that does river walking up there. I can't remember his name now. Somebody's going to tell me in the chat here. Tom Burley, I think it is actually Tom Burley. But yeah, Tom Burley was hunting there with Nicola from Tideline Art, and yeah, I saw that the man with the hat was there, and obviously there's a dump there that runs onto the riverbank, and I would imagine there's tons of stuff being washed out of that at the moment. Get that garlic into me. Yeah, I do like garlic, actually. I love garlic. Try Albus oil, cures my man flu. Yeah, my daughter's got an Albus oil up the nose snifter thing, so I might give that a go later. Southern Searcher, I'm hoping the rough seas brought some stuff up and not dumped loads of sand up. Yeah, indeed, that's what we're all hoping, I must admit. Oregano oil as well. Ooh. Sand Scratcher Bry, hi, how are you? Too much sand at Scarborough, no detecting here till the sand moves. That's a shame. Ferret's Variety Channel, had my 2 gold off the beach just before the storm this week. Well, very nice. It's all right for some. Gold's something I've yet to find, and no, that little piece of thing, well, I think it might be gold. I've still not had it tested because I've still not met up with Simon yet. Maybe we'll make a little video of us testing it when we do get together. And Tom Bowler, you've lost me. I don't know what you mean. Oh, my telly's about to switch off. Hang on a second. Boom, there we go. Nicola, oh, and breathe. Dearie me. Natural antibiotic. Steve Diamond, hello Steve, how are you, sir? Yeah, Southern Searcher. That I must admit. One day, hopefully, then there'll be something shining up at us when we dig that plug out. You got to keep looking for it, though. That's the thing. Got to keep going. Oh, the name of the guy mudlarking sounded like Tom Bowler. Tom Burley, I think his name is. In fact, I'll double check it. I'm certain it's Tom Burley. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Tom Burley. Yeah, Tom Burley, mudlark. I think it's him anyway. I'm certain it's him. Yeah, it is Tom Burley. So where were we? Oh, we're going out of focus. Focus, focus, focus. Oh. Oh. There we go. We're back. Yeah, like I say, Megs, I've not met with Simon. Simon's got a little gold testing kit. So as soon as I do, as soon as he's allowed out to play, then I'll get him to bring the kit up and we'll get it tested. So. Sprays do Filey Beach occasionally, but it's highly mineralized sand. Megs Sci-Fine. Yes, I do like Sci-Fines as well. Actually, Megs, he's very entertaining. Yes, goodbye, Kyle. Enjoy your skiing there in Austria. Let us know if the hills are alive with music as well. That's right. Yeah, Tom Burley is in Hebden Bridge there. Like I say, lovely place. So yeah. Like I say, I was out a couple of times this week and managed to get some decent enough videos for. We can only do what we can do, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, they'll be up over the next couple of weeks. So. So a lot of your bottle digs come up on YouTube. Will you bottle dig again? Yeah, constantly. This is the constant question that I get. Everybody wants to see me go bottle digging again, and yeah, like I say, the farm dump that I've got, I'm going to attack that, and we'll see. There has to be some bottles in it. There really does. I couldn't imagine a farm with a farm dump not having bottles in it. So yeah, hopefully once I get Tor into the farm dump, then we should get some decent finds. Hopefully. Metal Detect in Alaska. The Alaska Triangle new series starts on the Travel Channel tonight, and I'll be on episode 2 next Sunday with my metal detector. Oh, very good. Metal Detect in Alaska. You're going to be famous on the telly. Southern Searcher found my 7th hammered coins last Sunday and my first in over 4 months. It's a Henry VI half groat dated 1422 to 1424. Very nice. Hammered coins, something I've never found yet. Again, it's another one that's on the bucket list. Yes, Steve, and cream pots. Yeah. They do seem to be popular on farm dumps, do cream pots, I must admit. Philip Haley says, how do you find bottle dumps? Research, Philip, to be perfectly honest with you. There's a website. Let me see if I can get the name of it for you. or even I'll put a link in the description box. Let me just get it here. And it's for something called side-by-side maps. Side maps. And it's provided, the website's provided by the National Libraries of Scotland, believe it or not. So yeah, I've got a link here. I'll put this in. Ooh, it's an awful long link. Copy and paste. So that link that I've just pasted in the chat there will take you to the to what they call a side-by-side maps website. So if you've got a chance, have a look now, and you'll see that on the right-hand side there's the modern map, and on the left-hand side you've got. I was actually in process of making a video about this, funnily enough, and on the left-hand side of the screen, so the screen's split in two. You've got old maps. So you've got an option at the top where you can change the old map to different dates of maps that are available for that area. And then you can zoom in on your local area. And what you tend to do is you tend to look for changes in the landscape. Sometimes it will actually even say on the old map, it will say refuse tip. And you'll be able to see on the new map, you'll be able to see the corresponding area on the new map. And you'll be able to see what it looks like and if it's been covered over, you know, trees growing on it, that kind of thing. And then it's simply a case of going out and having a look and, you know, scraping about on the surface, see if you can find. Usually the best sign is bits of broken glass that you'll find on the surface. And you kind of go from there, really. Libraries themselves are a great resource as well, because they often they'll hold local records for the area for different services. So obviously for refuse removal, they'll probably have records for that as well, which might tell you where the tips were. Farms are great places, but obviously you need permission. On a lot of land, you will need permission, to be perfectly honest with you. Bottle digging is one of those things that sometimes people get permission and sometimes they don't. I think a lot of the time, if you're sensible at what you do and you don't leave the place a complete mess, and you're respectful to the land, then it's generally it's seen as not seen as an issue. If it's somewhere that's within somebody's farm grounds, then obviously you're really going to need permission. But you tend to find a lot of bottle dumps are on waste ground. Although the ground still belongs to someone, it's just not used for anything. So, but like I say, it's all about respect, really, respect of the land. So yeah, so there's a bit of a hint for you about bottle digging. Yeah, Wolf Spirit, I'm the same. Never found a hammered coin. Like I say, it's on the bucket list, and hopefully one day we'll get one. Yeah, Steve, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Steve says that lots of bottle dumps are common knowledge, and the best way is to ask in a forum. Yeah, I've had that a couple of times actually. Although the times that there's a couple of bottle dumps here or there were a couple of bottle dumps here in Helensburgh. One of them, they built a supermarket on top of it, but one of the local archaeological groups managed to remove some bottles from it before they built, and then the other bottle dump is on a private farm, and it's only a small private farm. And I have asked, and they won't give permission for metal detecting or bottle digging, because they've had previous issues with bottle diggers that left broken glass all over the top of the field, and they keep horses, so it's not ideal for them as livestock owners and horse owners, that they would have broken glass on the surface, which is understandable. And yeah, Steve says gravel pits and quarries that are not on the later maps. Yeah, like I say, it's all about studying the differences between what was and what is now, and sometimes you'll see the difference. Occasionally, if you walk through woodland and sort of waste ground areas, like I say, you might see rabbit burrows, and often times if it's on a bottle dump, you'll see that the rabbits have kicked out bits of broken pottery and bits of broken glass as they're digging the burrows. So that's always a good thing to look for as well. So yeah, Philip, it will keep you busy, I must admit, and And if nothing else, if you're out walking through the woods and whatever, you're getting a decent bit of exercise. I keep saying this, you know, a lot of people wonder about metal detecting and bottle digging and that kind of thing. And at the end of the day, it's all about getting outside and getting in some fresh air and getting a bit of exercise and sort of generally enjoying yourself, even if you don't find anything, or you're like me and you go out and you find a load of lead on the beach. You had that bit of exercise and you saw that bit of landscape, and you know, you got that bit of fresh air, and that's really what it's about for me anyway. So there you go. Metal detecting in Alaska, the only bottle dumps I can find are from individual gold rush cabins. They always had a trash pit, so they are always pretty small. Hey, you know, there's every chance that you might find something quite rare in some of those bottle dumps, I would imagine, or some of those privy tips. You know, you don't know unless you look. So, hey up, Dave's in the house. Hey up, Fluffy Smudge. Now then, how are you? Yeah, so yeah, I got out a couple of times this week, and I've been watching. I treated us to Amazon Prime there, so we've been watching some movies and stuff over the last week or so, and last few weeks or so anyway. And I've been enjoying it actually. I watched. I don't know if anybody watches The Boys on Amazon Prime. It's a like TV show about superheroes, only they're not so superheroes. They're a bit naughty, but that's a great show. If you get a chance to watch The Boys, then I highly recommend it. There's only one series at the moment. Hopefully, they're making a new series. So, in fact, let's see if they're making a new season. The Boys. Oh, The Boys season 2. Season 2 release date. They've got it all in the. So season 2 was filmed in Toronto in the summer of 2019. I'll have to watch. Apparently, there's a trailer out for it. I'll have to watch it, but I would imagine it's coming out this year. So stars Carl Urban, and he's great in this show. So yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been at this week anyway. People are chatting away here. Somebody said to me, it's they feel like it's a night in the pub when they come onto my live stream, which is a nice thing to say. That being said, I think I might go and get myself a little drink. So if you lot can behave yourself for 2 minutes, I'll disappear. Although I shouldn't disappear when I'm doing a live stream. I know I shouldn't, but I will disappear for 2 minutes, and I'll just go and get myself a little drinky poo. So bear with me. I'm going to turn the mic off so you can't hear me break wind as I go. Sorry, you probably didn't hear that. I said cheers. Yeah, it is it is a double Steve, I must admit. Oh, Dave, going on a lapidary course. Dave, let me ask you a question, Dave. Are you jewelry making? No, I didn't go for a wee Philip. Hey, no wrong with that, Wolf Spirit. You get that brandy down your neck. Good night, Southern Searcher. Steve, you can share this one with me, mate. Oh, it's cherry. I'm not going to say it's the grown-up drink, V and T, V and tonic, but it's the cherry. It's a cherry flavored V, and it's really rather nice, actually. Dave says, I do jewelry, yep, sterling silver gemstones, and I make wind chimes and other stuff. Oh, very good. I'm not sure if I've said before. Well, I think I have said before. My father was a professional jeweler. Stevie, cheeky bugger, you don't drink. So, some might say that's quite a sensible thing, to be perfectly honest with you. I've had occasions where I wished I wasn't a drinker, I must admit. Oh, Marilyn's got a peach mimosa. Oh. Yeah, anyway, Fluffy Smudge, yeah, my dad was a jeweler. He actually made our wedding rings, mine and Pam's wedding rings for us. But yeah, he's retired now. He doesn't. He does little bits of repair work, the odd thing here and there for sort of friends and family, as it were. But yeah, it's something I wish I'd have taken up, actually. I'm kicking myself that I never did. But if I had, I wouldn't be where I am now. It's one of those things. It would have changed my life completely, and I wouldn't want to change what I've got now. So yeah, so it's as simple as that. And it's a wonderful thing is jewelry making. I must admit, if you're good at it, then it's wonderfully rewarding, and it takes great skill. My father, he started when he was, I'm not sure if he was 16 or 17. He went to art college, and then he started an apprenticeship as a jeweler, and he studied and studied, and he got very, very good. He was he did some pieces for I will just leave it at royal family, put it that way. But yeah, he was a very high-end what's classed as a craftsman jeweler. So he would literally go from designing the piece to fully manufacturing the piece that he was designing. Obviously taking cues from clients' requests, that kind of thing. So yeah, he was a highly skilled craftsman. Steve, I'd love to make coin rings, but I just don't have anywhere I can do it. We've no room in this flat whatsoever. Yes, that's it. We figured it out, haven't we, Marilyn? It's Fluffy Smudge, isn't it? That you're going to send the stones to. So yeah, Fluffy Smudge, if you want to send me your address, and I'll pass that on to Marilyn, and you two can sort out between yous. Yeah, he's a great guy, is my dad. Actually, he's had a tough life, but he's come through it, and yeah, there's not a lot more I can say. He's getting on in age now, and he's had a tough time recently with his health. But every time we go down and see him, he's usually in good spirits, and yeah, we have a good old laugh and we have a good few drinks, and it's usually quite bad when me and my dad get together because we both try and outdrink each other, which is a silly thing to do. I mean, I can't outdrink my dad anyway. My dad can drink pints till, until the fish come home. But yeah, we have a good laugh anyway, and we usually we usually both wake up the next day with a bit of an headache. There you go. Yeah, cheers, Wolf Spirit. I'll see you. I'll see you on the next one, buddy. And I must catch up with Anthony Doyle's videos as well. One of Tony's videos apparently is quite good, so I'll have to catch up with that. Well, boys and girls, we're 47 minutes into it. Look, 13 watching, 15 thumbs up. That's not bad. I'll not argue with that. Have I got warm now after that last farm hunt? Yeah, I was free. It was a freezing day. The wind was just, it was so cold. But yeah, I think was it you that was saying, somebody was saying anyway, I can't remember, that when you get in, you stand up against the radiator and you just rub your hands on the radiator, everything starts to warm through. Then it was brilliant. It's lovely. Fluffy Smudge, I don't have any pictures of the jewelry that he's made. Actually, it was one thing that he never did, and all the stuff. Like I say, he got rid of most of his equipment, and he only kept a small amount just for doing small repairs. But I'm not sure why he didn't keep all his designs. I don't know whether it was just a case of he designed it, made it, and then got rid of the designs, and that was it. I think a lot of the pieces were one-off pieces. So, but yeah, it would be lovely to have that sort of history, but I guess it was just one thing that he never held on to really at the end of the day. He used to actually run two workshops in Leeds city centre, two jewellery workshops, and he had a little shop, a little desk shop in the now some of the lads from Leeds will know, or roundabouts Leeds, or anybody that knows Leeds, in the Corn Exchange in Leeds city centre. He had a little repair station in there as well. So people would bring stuff into the repair station, and it would get sent out to the workshops, and they would do the repairs. So, and I used to go with him when I was a kid. I used to go to the repair shops when he was checking up on the staff and the apprentices that he had as well. He had a lot of apprentices from the art colleges that would come along, that were studying jewelry and jewelry manufacturing techniques, and yeah, it was a fantastic place to be when you were a kid. Really fascinating, and yeah, we used to tour around Leeds, picking up pieces of jewelry from different pubs and working men's clubs, that kind of thing, and then he'd bring it all back, and then we'd head out to the pub for the rest of the day, and then we'd pick the stuff up the next day and take it back and drop it all off, and he'd get paid, and yeah, it was a fantastic time. So Philip Haley, yeah, he's in Leeds. Yeah, he knows what I mean. Yeah, like I say, Fluffy Smudge, Dave. I've sat and watched him. He used to so in the workshop they would use a gas flame, and it literally was piped, just ordinary gas piped through the pipes. But then they would use a blowpipe to add extra oxygen to get a hotter flame, and that was a mouth-held pipe. And to watch my dad work was just, I mean, it was amazing. I was in awe. I would stand there in silence and just watch him work on a piece of jewelry, and yeah, it's like you say, if you learn the proper craft of jewelry making, it's really, really, it's a great talent to have, I must admit. Barbie Thrifty, yeah, people didn't have easy access to cameras and the expensive film that we do now, so it's understandable. Yeah, like I say, essentially it was a case of he would meet a client, and they would tell him what they wanted, and he would go through a few designs and build up a design, and then tell them what it was going to cost to make it, and then they would say, yeah, go ahead and make it, and he would make it, and that was that. Bit of a hustler as well, my dad, I must admit. He knows how to he knows how to run a scheme to make a good bit of profit, I must admit. So Marilyn, my mum did the silversmithing. My dad was a leather worker. You know, it's great. A lot of the times with a lot of people, it does rub off, and they become quite artistic. It never rubbed off on me, unfortunately. I'm really not that artistic, I must admit. I used to do a little bit of drawing when I was a kid, but yeah, nothing. I was never an arty, crafty type. I did little bits of jewelry work, but nothing major. Again, I just I was a foolish youngster, young teenager, and I just wasn't. I didn't think it was the thing for me. When foolishly, it probably was the thing for me. But there you go. Yeah, health and safety. No, well, I don't know. I mean, if you're a professional jeweler and that's the way that you work, then sorry, we're out of focus again. Boop. Then yeah, that's just the way it is. You do it, and you know the dangers involved. So, oh, we're back in focus now. So. Meg says, I don't know, you rub those coins you find quite nicely. I have a gentle touch, Megs, I must admit. Oh dear. Spray says, was it your internet last week? Do you know, I don't know, but I have had a couple of just before I came live tonight, the internet dropped out here. We lost connection. It came back 2 minutes later, but and we did lose it there last week a couple of times as well. So, or during this week, we've lost it a couple of times. But excuse me. Yeah, I have had a couple of issues here on my end, so my apologies. I don't know whether it always seems to be at a certain time as well. Again, we're almost an hour into it, and it's usually about an hour in that we start to get problems. I don't know why that is, but we're supposed to be fibre here. Well, I pay for fibre. We don't get fibre to the house. I mean, because why would you? If you're paying for fibre, why would you get fibre direct to the house? By all accounts, the fibre goes as far as the box at the end of the street, the connections box, and then it's just standard copper cable here to the house or to the flat. So, but so I don't know why we pay fibre prices when we're not actually getting fibre to the house. I do believe fibre broadband is the fastest you can get currently in the UK, anyway. So yeah. Whitby Fossils, hello, how are you? The storm, I put a video up earlier, actually. If you check out the channel, there's a video up of I took a wander down into the town here to get some shopping, and yeah, it was a bit rough, to say the least. some flooding and waves crashing over the pier, and yeah, so generally standard stormy weather, really. Right, well, boys and girls, I'm going to give it just up to the hour, and then I'm going to say good evening, because I've got a plan to watch The Hound of the Baskervilles tonight, the old 1940s film with Basil Rathbone. I don't know if any of you people have heard of Basil Rathbone, but Ben Weeks, good evening, sir. How are you? What made us move to Scotland? Well, I tell you what, Ben, it's like this. I'll try and make this as short as possible. Oh, my little camera's flat. Oh, is that because I'm live? Yeah, okay. So we lived in Leeds originally, where I met my wife. My wife's sister, she moved to Northern Ireland before I knew my wife, because she married a chap from Northern Ireland. And so anyway, we lived in in Leeds, and my wife wanted to be closer to her sister. So in the year 2000, we moved to Northern Ireland. We took our daughter with us. She was about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. She was born 96. Yeah, she'd have been 4 years old when we moved to Northern Ireland. 5, I think she was 5 when we moved to Northern Ireland. Anyway, we moved to Northern Ireland in the year 2000 to be close to my wife's sister, and we lived there for 16 years. Very interesting place. And then my wife's sister, she left her husband and she moved over here with her new chap to Scotland. She moved up north, actually. It was I forget the name of it. Let me see if I can get it here. So she moved to Lossiemouth, which is way up north, up near Eldon. So she moved there. We were still in Northern Ireland, and yeah, we were living in Northern Ireland, and then my wife fell ill. She had a virus on her brain, and that affected her walking and her speech, and the way she thinks and the way she comprehends things. And so I was working at the time. I was working at the local airport there in Northern Ireland, Belfast International Airport I was working at. And yeah, my wife fell ill, and our daughter, she was working at the time. She was grown up at this stage, and she was working in the local supermarket where we lived in a small village just outside, just from about 6 miles from the international airport. And she was working there one night, and a couple of guys came in and robbed the place. They were armed with knives, and she was quite shook up over that. And she never really got over it. And we thought, well, we'll take a chance. We decided that we would have a crack at moving to Scotland and making a fresh start, as it were. And so again, so that we could be closer to my wife's sister, because they get on. They're really quite close, and she's a great help with my wife being disabled now. So yeah, we moved to Scotland. That was about 4 years ago. 4 years ago, somewhere around 4 years, maybe 5 years ago now. And yeah, we've been here ever since, and we've no intention of moving anywhere else. And if my wife's sister moves anywhere else, sod her, she can stay there, because we're not following her anymore. So yeah, that's a compacted version of the story. I hope that answers that question for you. Marilyn loves Basil Rathbone. Yeah, I do. I remember watching him when I was a kid. So when my parents split up, my dad would come and pick us up on a weekend. So he'd pick us up on Friday and he'd take us back home to my mum's on Sunday. And yeah, Saturday night was the night in my dad's house. My dad and his girlfriend, they would go out to the local pub or club, working men's club, for the night. and they would come home and they would bring Chinese food home, and the babysitters would go off, and we'd all sit down and eat Chinese food, and then the old black and white films would come on. So there'd be Frankenstein's and Dracula movies, that kind of thing, werewolf movies, and all the old black and white films, the horror films. They were absolutely fantastic. And Basil Rathbone playing I forget the detective's name now. 22B Baker Street. What do they call him? Come on, somebody help me out here. No, it wasn't Basil Fawlty. 22B Baker Street. Sherlock Holmes, that's it. Philip, nice one, Philip. Sherlock. Yeah. So anyway, we would sit down of a night, and I was probably only about 6 or 7 at the time. We'd sit and watch the horror films late at night on a Saturday night. It was absolutely fantastic. So I found that that The Hound of the Baskervilles is on YouTube. So I searched it up there and I saved it, and I think I'm going to watch that tonight. So take myself back to those days. Marilyn says the only thing better is Ray Harryhausen. Yeah, I used to love the Sinbad movies when I was a kid as well, Marilyn. We used to go to a working men's club on a Saturday afternoon. They used to do a kids Saturday afternoon movie showing, and a lot of the movies they played were the Ray Harryhausen films. So Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger and all those type of films. Absolutely fantastic. Love them to bits. And we're all whooping and yee-hawing watching these 8mm films on a projector. It was great. Oh, Ben, that's okay, mate. She's like I say, that's a good few years ago now that she had the brain injury. So unfortunately, it's one of those things that can never really be put right. And yeah, it is what it is. So Sprays, I love Basil Fawlty. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Fawlty Towers myself. I must admit, it cracks me up every time I see him. And Marilyn Basil Brush, yes, I remember. My Basil Brush was Basil Brush from the 1970s. Again, loved Basil Brush when I was a kid. Yeah, everybody, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, Philip frightened me to death when I was a kid, but I love being frightened to death. And I've got a real love for horror films now, and ever since I was a kid, really. And you probably did the same as me. You did the hiding behind the sofa thing, and then you would peek your head up, and then something scary would come out. You would duck down again. It was great times. Oh yeah, Philip Hammer, House of Horror as well. I introduced my daughter to them here a couple of years ago. We were watching them online, Hammer House of Horror, and the TV series, which is a great series, some fantastic little short films, but yeah, some really great scary films in there as well. Hey, no worries, Barbie Girl Thrifter. Glad you enjoyed it. Please feel free to come back. Marilyn says, try Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds on YouTube. I'll go one better. I've got the original vinyl album, which is great, Marilyn. Again, I was introduced to War of the Worlds when I was at middle school. So I'd have been I think it was about 10 years old when our music teacher, we would have a music class every twice a week. I think we'd have music lessons. And our music teacher, she kind of knew that she couldn't teach us all a musical instrument. So what she would do is she would introduce us to different types of music. And yeah, one day she played us part of War of the Worlds, and I mean, I was hooked from that first. The voice of Richard Burton is just, it's something else. When you hear it, it's astounding. And Jeff Wayne's musical score is absolutely amazing. I mean, it really is, from start to finish. It is a joy, an absolute joy to listen to. So yeah. So that, amongst other things, my music teacher introduced us to, and I've got a great love of music as well. I love all sorts. Spray says Saw. No, I've seen one or two of them, Sprays, but but they don't really. It doesn't really do it for me. I must admit, I did watch last night Hereditary, and it's about the third or fourth time I've seen it, and it is a fantastic film. And it's I love horror films where they sort of build a sense of dread and a sense of that sense of unknowing and that sense of not knowing what's coming next. Hereditary is an absolutely fantastic film for that. If you haven't seen it, I'll not say anything. I'll not put any spoilers on here. But if you get a chance to see Hereditary, then do so. It is a tour de force for a horror film fan. It really is. Whitby Fossil's oldest horror films I watch are from the 80s. Yeah, again, I must admit, some of the greatest horror films did come out in the 1980s. You've got The Evil Dead, which is one of our, well, mine and my daughter's favorite films. We've I think I've shown this before. We got the matching tattoos from The Evil Dead 2 of the I don't know if you can see it there, the deer's head that was on the wall and it's laughing away. So myself and my daughter, we got that on our wrists tattooed together one day. And so The Evil Dead, Return of the Living Dead, absolutely fantastic film. I love that to bits. Yeah, I just a huge horror film fan, always have been. Yeah, The Wicker Man's another good one as well. It's and again, it's one of those that kind of leaves you hanging all the way through, and then you get that final horrific terror at the end. Spray says, all changed now. Used to go to the video shop, take away few lager in 80s. All changed now. Streamed, not the same as old school video watching. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's not. I used to. We got our first video recorder. I think it was about 1970, 78 or 79, and I was captivated. It was an amazing thing that you could get this cassette tape, and you put it in the machine and you could watch a film. That was amazing. And the local video shop was a tiny little corner shop type thing, and it was a place to behold for a kid of my age. And back then there was no film certification, so I could go in and I could pick up any film off the shelf as a 8-9-year-old and pay my 50p or whatever it was to hire the film for the night, and I could take that film home and watch it, and it was amazing. And I could just go to the horror section and just look and just study for hours on end in the video shop, trying to decide, reading the blurb on the back of the cassette about the horror film, and decide which film I wanted to watch that night. Oh, it's amazing. Loved that time. Hey, big man, Simon. Now then, how are you? Do you think she might let you play out this week at some point? Oh dear. Philip Haley says, do I play any musical instruments? Philip, no, I don't. Well, I say no. I have a harmonica, and I don't play it. Again, I can't really play it in the flat. The flat's tiny, and the walls are very thin in this place, so I think I would annoy everyone really quick. I do keep meaning to take it with me when I'm out on the hills, when I'm out metal detecting and walking, and maybe just now. I say I play a harmonica. It's really basic. I can't play a tune. I like fiddling about with it, and trying to make a sound. I enjoy that, but it's years since I've got it out of the box. My grandfather was a musician in our family. He was a trumpet player in a brass band. In fact, I'll tell you what, I've got a photograph here. Let me just grab it and I'll show you. Right, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick this up, but so this is a photo. Oh, the lights. I'm not sure if you can see it. There we go. So let's see if I can. I think he's on this other side. Yeah, he's on this other side. So my grandfather is just there. And yeah, he was a trumpet player, and this is from when he was in the band of the Yorkshire Copper Works, which is was renamed. That was the original name of the company that he worked for. It was Yorkshire Copper Works, and they renamed it Yorkshire Imperial Metals. And again, some of you might know, maybe. Well, I don't know. People of Leeds, if they're into brass bands, then they'll know the Yorkshire Imperial Metal Bands, or they nickname them the Imps. But yeah, he was a trumpet player, an all-round musician, really. He used to play the what they call it, the concert. We call it a concertina. It's not a concertina, is it? It's I can't remember the name of it. He could play that. He also played harmonica as well. But yeah, just a general all-round top quality musician. He used to, like I say, he was in the Yorkshire Imperial Metals band. He used to play in a couple of bands in Leeds as well, and he used to play on the Isle of Man. He used to tour the Isle of Man in bands as well. So yeah, accordion. That's it, Steve. Concertina. Look, accordion. I'm struggling with my brain recently, I must admit. Or a squeeze box. Yeah. That's another name for it, isn't it, Megs? So yeah, all these people and these fantastic skills, and me with no skill whatsoever. My daughter, she's very artistic. She draws and paints, and she paints Warhammer figures. She's very good at that, I must admit. She's done a few commissions of entire armies that she's painted for people. So, but yeah, she's very good at that. So she's the artistic one that we've created between us. An hour and 13 minutes. Yeah, Sprays indeed. All the collieries did have brass bands. Yeah. My grandfather, when he worked at the Copper Works, or Yorkshire Imperial Metals, he was a copper tester. So he would go along and had his little hammer, and he would hit the copper, and he could tell by listening, which is ideal if you're a musician, because obviously you tend to have good hearing to hear notes. He could hear whether the copper was been correctly manufactured. Well, boys and girls, an hour and 14 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes we're into it. And yeah, I think I'm going to, it's 20 past 10 here now. I think I'm going to call it a night. Unless anybody's got another question for me. And I think I've definitely got a cold coming on here now, so do excuse me if I'm sniffling. Marilyn Inverary woot. Steve, my dad made us listen every weekend. We thought it was naff at the time, but glad he did. That's one thing I must admit. I never got to hear my grandfather play. He used to play the harmonica to us when we were kids, and but I never got to hear him play trumpet, I must admit. Yeah, thank you, Philip. I will. I'll pinch my daughter's Olbasol sniffer thing and give that a shot, and I will enjoy Sherlock Holmes tonight. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Right, boys and girls. That being said, an hour and 15 minutes. So you guys are all chatting away at each other now. Look. Yeah, I will say, thank you for coming along again, and thank you for listening to me natter on as usual. And I hope you've all enjoyed it. And yeah, hope everybody has a good one. And like I say, there'll be a video out on Wednesday night. I cocked up and forgot this Wednesday. I had a couple of other things that I got into. So, but yeah, I'll have a video out on Wednesday, a new one. And yeah, stay tuned, stay safe, and if you can't be good, then just be bad. And I will see you on the next one. All right, boys and girls, I will see you very soon. Take it easy. Bye for now.